What's up, guys? Now this next section is just going to be more of a designing the UI in Xcode with storyboards and the app that I decided to do. Okay, so we'll be recreating Tidal. It's a music streaming app. So if you want to see more, stay tuned. This will be completely flat file reading, no database, no Firebase. We will do more stuff with that. So I'm going to show you the app. One of the things that we're going to want to focus on is we want to get our status bar. So this place where we have all of these different icons up here, we want to get that to be black. We want to do a navigation controller or some type of header that's going to resemble this. And then we're also going to want to take care of our tab view controller. Okay, so let's get started. All right, so in Xcode, I'm just going to create a new project, a single view application. I'm going to name it Title 2. Okay, so now what we have is our storyboard. Our storyboard contains a view. We know we're going to go ahead and wrap this into a navigation controller. So I'm going to go to do that now. Go to Editor, Embed in Navigation Controller. All right. So what I'm trying to get is I want it to look like this. So the first thing I want to do is obviously I want to change the color. So I'm just going to go into the app delegate and I'm going to change the color. So in this method here, for did finish with options, I'm just going to clear this out, make a little room. I'm just going to say all right, so that should get me the gray color. Let's go ahead and play it and see what we got. All right, so that looks like what we're trying to accomplish. Let me go ahead and open this picture next to it. So yeah, so that gray looks pretty good. The one thing I'll need to do is actually allow this border to be black, right? So, but let's actually handle that now. So one of the things that we did notice, so if I go back to my simulator, this gray is making this time status bar being black look really bad. On this one is white. So let's go ahead and change that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just still in the app delegate and I want to change the UI application. It's a shared, and then I want to change the status bar, right? So status bar style. I'm just going to assign it a color of light content. And let's see what that does. So if I'm going to stop this, I'm going to run this again. Okay, and it didn't do anything. Now, and the reason why, so we actually have to get permission to change it. So currently it's set to be the color of whatever basically our status bar is, we have to add this, is a view based status bar, right? To get any access to this, we want to stop allowing the view controller to control this, and instead we want to control it ourselves. So we're just going to add view controller based status bar, right? And we're going to have a value of no. So I'm going to go run this again. So I'm saying I don't want my view controller to control that. I want to control it in code. So let's see what that looks like. All right, so now we have our white or our light status bar. Another thing we notice is that, of course, the background here is black. The background here is not black. So what we want to do is we want to also change that. So I'm going to go back into the app delegate. And right below here, I'm just going to create a variable, shared.value for key status bar as a UI view. So basically I'm trying to get access to my status bar in order to change its color. So it's of type UI view, and you may not need this because I initialized it as a UI view, so I don't necessarily need that. Let's see. So I'm going to say status bar. Since I have access to this view now, I can change its background color to be black, right? All right. So let's go ahead and run this. stop and run. All right, so that looks exactly how we want it to look. We have the black status bar, then we have the gray. Now the only thing is we have to actually create this label here. Now, when we try to just go to our storyboard and add our label here, it adds in the center, right? So we can say what's new, and if this is your own app, you could probably say this would be good enough for you. But this is not actually what we want it to look like, because this is going to pop in the middle. We can of course change it white or whatever, but that's not going to work for us either. So let's go ahead and actually change the view, right? So here it is. It's going to be in the center. We actually want to move it here. So I'm just going to do that, and I'm going to do that in code. Okay, so in the view controller, I'm just going to get rid of this stuff for now. And in the view did load, we want to set up our header. And I'm just going to get in the practice of just creating these because I know I'm going to eventually section them off anyway, so I'll just do it ahead of time. So set up header, right? So this is the header of this view. So I'm talking about this because they're going to be different. So each view controller is going to control its own header. So the first thing I want to do is I know I'm going to need a label. So we actually want to set a size for this header first. So let's go ahead and do that. So we need to get the bounds of this header, right? So this is going to equal our navigation controller. We have one navigation bar dot bounds, right? So this gives us a CG rect that we can actually use when creating our label. So let's go ahead and do that. So CG rect is going to be a CG rect, and let's go ahead and put, it's going to start at 0, 0, so top left hand corner, bounds. So our bounds, which is our navigation controller navigation bar, we want to get its width for our width, and we want to get our bounds dot height as well. Just close this off. See if we'll let us get away with that. No, because we definitely would need to know if we have one. All right, so we could do if let here, right? But I think this would be good. So I created the frame, placed the frame, added the text. Let's change the text color to be white. All right, so let's see. Well, we didn't actually add it to anything. So we created this label, we need to add it to our view. So our view is our navigation bar item dot, not our navigation item dot title view is equal to our header label. So let's see what that looks like for us. Okay, so that looks a lot better. I'm just going to open this picture up by the side. The font is a lot smaller, so let's go ahead and make the font a little bit bigger. Okay, so I'm going to just header label dot font equals header label dot font with size 20. So let's try 20, see what that looks like. All right, so I think that's pretty good. Now, we probably could have maybe chosen a different font that kind of matches that a little bit better, but I think that's pretty good. I mean, we're not trying to be entirely perfect, right? So actually, we have to do one more thing. So you can't tell now by looking at this, but if I was to create some type of scroll view or some type of collection view behind this, this is actually going to be pretty transparent. So what we need to do is we can just take the translucence off of here. And I wanted to put this in here. Let's see. You can actually do this two ways. Let's actually do it through the storyboard. So in the storyboard, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my navigation controller here, the navigation bar. So in our navigation controller, if we drill down to our navigation bar, you'll see that this translucent is checked. We can uncheck this. So we don't want this to be translucent, so we're just going to check that off so that it gives it more of a solid state. If you saw like the kind of, you can see how this view controller is, you're able to see it, this darkens up because of this view controller background. But if we remove that, this turns to white and it just creates a more opaque. Alright, so that just makes it a little bit darker. It's not too much far off from our color. We could probably lighten it up now. Okay, I call this good enough. So that is how you customize your navigation controller using a label, as well as control what your status bar looks like. We lightened the color and we turned it black. In our next video, we'll be going down all the way to the bottom and doing the same thing, customizing our tab bar controller. I hope this was helpful. And I will see you guys in the next video.